Going to call the Schaumburg Village Board meeting to order for Tuesday, March 12th, 2024. I would like to ask, do it myself, please turn off any electronic devices that you have so can we have a quiet meeting. Thank you. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Bischke.
Present.
Trustee Bidet is absent. Trustee Dunham.
Present.
Trustee Sullivan is absent. Trustee Clare.
Present.
Trustee Patel. President Daly.
Present. That's 4 trustees and 1 mayor. Okay. I'd like to ask Trustee Bischke, that's the quorum. Trustee Bischke, if you wouldn't mind leading us Pledge of Allegiance.
Please stand as you're able. Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Trustee Bischke. Next item is the approval of minutes for February 27th, 2024. Any questions, comments? Look for a motion to approve.
Move to approve as presented. Second.
Motion and a second to approve as presented. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Approval of expenditures. You have expenditure for $4,301,226.63. Any questions, comments?
Move to approve as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve as presented. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Bischke.
Aye.
Trustee Bidet is absent. Trustee Dunham.
Aye.
Trustee Sullivan is absent. Trustee Clare.
Aye.
Trustee Patel.
4 ayes, no nays. Motion carries. Thank you. Liquor license request. We have a request from Mr. Delmar McPhail. There you are. Please come forward.
Yes, sir.
So, come on up here to the podium.
Yes, sir.
We have a Class A liquor license request for Vito's Burgers.
Yes.
Okay, this is at Woodfield.
Yes, sir.
Why don't you give us your full name and address for the record, and then tell us a little bit about your place, where it
Okay.
may be within the mall. It's a pretty big place.
Okay, so if you're familiar with A&W Root Beer, which was there for a very long time, so that's our space.
Okay.
If you're familiar with the concept of DMK Burger Bar, so DMK was owned by David Morton of Morton Steakhouse. So I owned the location in Oakbrook Mall, and I was part owner of the one in Soldier Field. And David sold DMK to a corporation, which prompted us to change the name and kind of, but it's still the same recipe. We're still licensed for the same recipes of DMK, but we simply changed the name. We have about a 5,000 square foot space, about 4,800 to be exact. And we're trying to make it more of a family entertainment with the bars. So the liquor sales won't be, we'll be more restaurant than bar, if that makes sense. That's our concept.
Yeah. Okay. And you said your name again for the record?
Delmar McPhail.
Okay, thank you. Questions, comments from the board?
That was, I think, A&W, when it was there, that was probably the longest serving store.
Yes,
in
yes.
Whitfield. It was
Long time.
since the 70s.
Yep. Remember
Yeah,
taking my kids
yes.
when they were like that big. Yep.
That's why we're really excited about it, because for them to have that type of success, restaurants come and go all the time. For them to have that type of success, I think it's a good sign for the location. And I'm very familiar with Woodfield Mall, and I think it's one of the best malls in the country.
We think so too. And best wishes for your future.
Thank you, sir.
So, any other questions from the board? No, okay. So, during normal business hours, tomorrow or after, you just want to see go to Liquor Commissioner's office, which is also the mayor's office upstairs. I know you've already submitted some paperwork.
Yes, sir.
For the liquor sales, and they'll do the background check and all that kind of stuff, and fees to be paid and all that.
Yes, sir.
The license will be issued, so.
Thank you,
Do
sir.
you have a anticipated open date?
Yes, sir. We're trying to open next month.
Okay, good. All right, good for you.
Hopefully we see you guys there. I appreciate your time.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And you can stay or leave, whichever you wish.
Okay.
Okay? So if you got things to do, we understand.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, sure. Okay. Next item is the consent agenda. Consent agenda will be read in its entirety, voted on as one motion to approve. If you wish to discuss an item further, please indicate that when the item is read by the village clerk so that it can be removed from the consent agenda and discussed further under committee reports. Otherwise, all items will be approved as presented on the consent agenda in one motion to approve. Will the clerk please read the consent agenda?
Number 1, proclamations. A, National Public Works Week, May 19th through 25th, 2024. 2, Health and Human Services Committee. The motion would be to approve the modifications to the village's therapeutic mental health services delivery model and direct staff to explore the disposition of the property at 17 East Schaumburg Road. B, the motion would be to approve the 2023 Community Development Block Grant CDBG Action Plan Amendment. 3, Transportation Committee. The motion would be to authorize the village manager and village clerk to execute an amendment to the existing agreement with Kimley Horn and Associates, Inc. to proceed with implementing a roundabout design as part of Phase 1 preliminary engineering for the Braintree Drive reconstruction project at the intersection with Weathersfield Way in the amount of $314,321 and approve the required resolution. B, the motion would be to authorize participation in the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Program and award the purchase of 9 single-axle truck chassis in an amount not to exceed $1,380,960 in fiscal year 24-25. C, the motion would be to approve a waiver of competitive bidding and award rebuild services of a 2012 Pierce fire engine to McQueen of Aurora, Illinois, in an amount not to exceed $550,000. D, the motion would be to execute change order number 2 for the purchase of motor fuels with Petroleum Traders of Fort Wayne, Indiana, in the amount of $103,261 and approve the required resolution. E, the motion would be to approve the architectural consultant pool for professional services for a term of 4 years starting in fiscal year 24-25. F, the motion would be to authorize the village manager and village clerk to execute an agreement for the storm sewer outfall improvements construction administration services with Clark Dietz Incorporated of Oak Brook Terrace, Illinois, in the amount of $62,070 and approve the required resolution. G, the motion would be to award the bid for gravel delivery and debris disposal to the lowest responsible bidder, Utility Transportation Services, Inc. of Oak Forest, Illinois, in the amount of $128,903. 4, Plan Commission. The motion would be to approve a preliminary and final plat for a dedication of Shared Street for 90 North Park, Shared Street 2020 Parkside Drive. 5, Zoning Board of Appeals. The motion would be to approve an amendment to existing special use for an adult use cannabis business establishment security plan for Verilife Cannabis Dispensary, 150 North Barrington Road. B, the motion would be to approve an amendment to existing special use for an adult use cannabis business establishment security plan for NAC2 LLC, doing business as Enlightened Cannabis for People 2, 820 East Gulf Road. C, the motion would be to approve a variation for an additional wall sign for Schaumburg Honda, 1100 East Gulf Road. D, the motion would be to approve a special use for a tattoo establishment for Urban Rebels Inc. Corporation, 839 East Algonquin Road. 6, award of bid. The motion would be to award the bid for the construction of the barn deck and ramp project to the lowest responsible bidder, Colmex Group Ltd. of Chicago, Illinois, in the amount of $171,000. B, the motion would be to award the bid for the Centex elevated tank repainting to the lowest responsible bidder, Dynamic Industry Services, Inc. of Crete, Illinois, in the amount of $1,067,000. C, the motion would be to award the bid for 90 North Park Shared Street from Progress Parkway to Landmark Avenue Phase 3 construction services to the lowest responsible bidder, A-Lamp Concrete Contractors, Inc. of Schaumburg, Illinois, in the amount of $6,197,000. 7, traffic agreements. The motion would be to authorize the village manager to execute the traffic agreement by and between the Village of Schaumburg and Glen Star, located at 1475, 1501, 1525, and 1515 East Woodfield Road. B, the motion would be to authorize the village manager to execute the traffic agreements by and between the Village of Schaumburg and Bryan Properties, Inc., located at 751 to 757 West Gulf Road, 1055 to 1093 North Salem Drive, and 1101 to 1143 North Salem Drive. 8, resolutions. The motion would be to adopt as resolution number R-24-018, authorizing the village manager and village clerk to execute an amendment to the existing agreement with Kimley Horn and Associates, Inc. as part of Phase 1 preliminary engineering for the Braintree Drive construction project, Wise Road to Weathersfield Way. B, the motion would be to adopt as resolution number R-24-019, authorizing the village manager to execute change order number 2 for the purchase of motor fuels with petroleum traders. C, the motion would be to adopt as resolution number R-24-020, authorizing the village manager and village clerk to execute an agreement for the storm sewer outfall improvements at Cedar Crest Drive, Buzz Aldrin Elementary School, and J.C. Park Construction Administration Services with Clark Dietz Incorporated. Number 9, ordinances. The motion would be to waive first reading and adopt as ordinance number 24-010, granting the approval of a preliminary and final plat approval for dedication of Shared Street, 2020 Parkside Drive. B, the motion would be to waive first reading and adopt as ordinance number 24-011, granting an amendment to existing special use for an adult use cannabis business establishment security plan for Verilife Cannabis Dispensary, 150 North Barrington Road. C, the motion would be to waive first reading and adopt as ordinance number 24-012, granting an amendment to existing special use for adult use cannabis business establishment security plan for NAC2 LLC doing business as Enlightened Cannabis for People 2, 820 East Gulf Road. D, the motion would be to waive first reading and adopt as ordinance number 24-013, granting a variation for an additional wall sign for Schaumburg Honda, 1100 East Gulf Road. E, the motion would be to waive first reading and adopt as ordinance number 24-014, granting a special use for a tattoo establishment for Urban Rebels Inc. Corp., 839 East Algonquin Road. F, the motion would be to waive first reading and adopt as ordinance number 24-015, authorizing adoption and publication of the official updated zoning map of the Village of Schaumburg. This concludes the consent agenda.
Thank you. Look for a motion to approve the items as read.
Motion to approve.
Second. There's a motion and a second to approve the items as read. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Bischke?
Aye.
Trustee Madej is absent. Trustee Dunham?
Aye.
Trustee Sullivan is absent. Trustee Clare?
Aye.
Trustee Patel?
4 ayes, no nays, motion carries. Thank you very much. Committee reports, we have none listed for this evening. Comments from the public, an opportunity to come before the board regarding items that are pertinent towards the Village of Schaumburg. We request that you hold your comments to 3 minutes and just give us your name and address for the record. Anyone from the public? Okay, ready to move on. Council report.
Thank you, Mayor. I have just one item this evening. It's that time of the year or that season where we do the semi-annual review of closed session minutes to make a determination whether any can be released. The legal department has done a review of the existing closed session minutes and has a recommendation that no closed session minutes be authorized for release from the group outstanding at this time, and I'd ask for a motion to accept that recommendation.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second to accept. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Anything further?
Nothing further. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, President's report. I have just one item for this evening, and it's the appointment of 2 individuals. We've had a couple of openings on the Sister Cities Committee, and we have 2 people that are interested. It's a short appointment, but it falls on the annual cycle. So the 2 appointments are for terms ending April 30th, 2024. Potential reappointments then May 1st with the rest of the Sister Cities Committee. The 2 individuals are Coran. Not sure I'm pronouncing this correctly. I figured my buddy Trustee Dunham over here, who helps correct me, might help me out if I mess that up. Well, I'm not gonna even try. George? Thank you. Sorry, say that again? What she said. Okay, thank you very much.
I
knew I was gonna.
I wouldn't have got that
I'm
either.
sorry, English just was not a good one for me, so, but I do deeply appreciate you putting it in there. And then Alexandria Zink, Z-I-N-C-K. Questions, comments on that? Otherwise, I look for motion to approve both of those.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All ayes, motion carries. Thank you very much and appreciate the help. That's all I have. Managers report?
I have no report this evening.
Okay. New business? We have none. Unfinished business? None. Trustee comments and mentions? Anything for the evening? No? Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.